So, as you know that we are already into 22nd week of this program to heal and cure, and inside this program we learn how we can implement Ayurvedic wisdom in our daily life, and the purpose of that is to unleash internal healing energy and experience positive well-being. This is the motive behind this entire training, and we are covering the Ayurvedic body mind type. This is the 11th session continuously going on, and we will cover natural urges or impulses that we should never restrain, never withhold. So, I welcome you all. I congratulate for being a part of this training, and there are certain urges or impulses, and if we know about them, we can just check whether we are holding them, we are restraining them, and this is not good for the health and well-being. Or in simple way, whenever we say the urge or impulse, you should consider that there is certain energy behind these, and that energy is very important. Nature or human physiology, it wants that this energy be out, it is given a vent. If we are not doing it, then it has the ability to disrupt and to create disorders. So, this is the thing that should always be taught. Its teaching should start in the schools, but this is the one thing that we are not being taught even at the medical college, and we are not very much aware of it. It has been given sufficient thought in ancient Ayurvedic wisdom. That is why it is very important. Again, I always say, I emphasize that whenever you consider Ayurvedic wisdom, you know that it is having a experiential nature. Whatever is there in Ayurvedic principles and practices, you can definitely understand, you can experience within your own body, and from there you can move. So, we are covering this entire series as Ayurveda body mind type basics. You are understanding, you are experiencing all these things, and we are moving ahead on this path of health and well-being. There are two ways that you can utilize the concept of Ayurveda body mind type. One, it is related with, associated with your prakriti or nature. Second, whenever there is some disease or pathology or some type of imbalance, then you can utilize this wisdom and the practices therein, and it will help you to modify your diet and lifestyle and exercise, and you bring yourself back on the path of health and well-being. So, what does it mean by the urge or impulse? You can consider these at the physiological, sometimes neurological, sometimes physiopsychological in nature. You will come to know about all these 13 different types of urges. So, you will know about their nature. This is their general nature if you combine all of them together. Then when I say urge or impulse, you should consider neuropsycho approach. There is certain element of mind also. In many of the urges, the mental and emotional well-being, it is also associated. So, you will find some neurological, psychological and physiological energy combined together, and in most of these urges you will find the element of the vata principle, vata dosha. There is activation of the vata, there is blunting of vata, and that is primarily involved, and other dosas they can also be involved. Next, when we are saying neurological aspect, you should consider some nerve current and motor activities. Every nerve, it is just having some innervation into some muscles or some gland, and there it is working, stimulating it, working upon it. So, that element is also involved, and many times sensory involvement is also there. Nerves are primarily like sensory, motor. So sometimes one nerve have both types of fiber. So you will find here that there is a variety, and overall you can consider that whether it is sensory or motor or combined both, overall these urges or impulses, these are giving a vent to this energy, and many times these are related with our reflexes, related with the protective approach of nature that is built within our own system. So whenever you experience these type of urge, these types of impulse, these are some sort of indicators. Sometimes these can work at the alarm for certain requirements or certain things. That's why these urges or impulses, these are indicating that you should attend this or you should take care of this. So these are the two aspects that are related with all the urges or impulses. So as I mentioned that some of these urges or impulses, these are related with the reflexes, these are inbuilt within our nervous system, within our body, and their general nature is protective in nature. Even though sometimes they might feel disturbing, but their basic nature is protective. So whenever we are withholding or restraining some sort of urge or impulse for long duration, so that works like a neurological or physiological, many times physical disrupting element. So whenever there is something like there is disruption of the normal physiology, normal structure, then we are bound to have certain type of imbalance or disorder. Again, it's very important that whenever we are withholding a particular like urge or impulse for a long period of time, it will definitely produce some sort of disorders, and it will make the person susceptible to get that type of disorder. So you have to be careful that some impulses, these are related with mental and emotional well-being. So they can cause different types of psychological health issues or mental and emotional problems. That's why it's very important to know about them and to have a check whether we are just habitually or sometimes because of the certain situation we are just adopting the wrong practice. It will give us a check. So there are two ways that you can utilize this wisdom of Ayurveda. One is the preventive. If you take care of these and you make sure that you are not withholding or restraining any type of the urge or impulse, then it can work as a preventive well-being. And many times you are aware of these, you can take them as proactive well-being, something that you are proactively doing, you are taking care of that and you can be healthy. So both approaches are fine with it, and if you are in the practice of like violating this principle of not withholding the urge, then you can take care. There are certain simple remedies, you use them and you move on the path of health and well-being, healing and cure. So in ancient Ayurveda, inside the Charak Samhita, which is one of the most authoritative and ancient books of Ayurvedic medicine, there in Sutra Sthan, Sutra section, chapter 7, these 13 urges or impulses are described, and these are presented there as Navegan Dharnya. This is a Sanskrit word. It simply means, Veg means momentum, urge or impulse. You should not suppress, withhold or retain these type of impulses or urges. This is the name of this chapter. So we will come to know about all of these.